Hello and welcome everyone. Lovely to have you all back to see another live performance here, sponsored by Berkeley Art Museum Pacific Film Archive. I'm Sean Carson, and it's my pleasure to welcome this week Cosa Nostra Strings. And Cosa Nostra Strings is just one branch of the ever-expanding jazz mafia empire. And I'm going to have Adam Thies join me here on the screen, so he can talk to us a little bit about what he does and what Jazz Mafia does.
Hey, everybody.
So, Adam, I understand that, among other things, that Cosa Nostra has a new record that just came out. I thought you might want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's our first full-length album of our own. We've been collaborating with a lot of other folks, and we finally scheduled the time out beginning of this year and finished it right before the pandemic, actually. And we're really proud of it. It's all original music, and everybody in the group, all five of us, have original music on it.
Great.
And yeah, it's quite a journey through different types of string playing in different contexts.
Great. Maybe yeah, I'll mention a couple of things to the audience, one of which is that if you're watching us on YouTube, which is the only way to watch us, I think, you should avail yourself of the comment box, because at the end we will take some questions. So as things occur to you, go ahead and just type in questions or comments as you go, and we'll have the group around to answer afterwards. But maybe you want to do this as part of your set, but maybe you want to introduce the group and kind of go over what the instrumentation is, because it's not exactly a string quartet and not exactly a jazz combo, but something hybrid.
Yeah, for sure. We'll kind of give you some setup for many of the songs, and then we can chat more at the end as well. But I will introduce the band right now, if that's cool.
Please.
So over here in this direction is our percussionist, Aaron Kerbel. Yes, he's the drums are a tricky instrument to blend with acoustic strings, but Aaron is a master, and I would recommend watching what he does as a drummer, the different types of sticks he uses, and how he orchestrates on his kit while he's playing to match the different volume levels. And then right there, Louis Patzner on the cello. We planned that. Something to look out for with Louis, aside from his fiery chops, is that Louis and I switch roles on who's playing the bass part, which there's usually a bass part, but so he will be playing bass, and then sometimes I actually play a bass as well when I'm not playing the trombone. So yeah, watch for the switching of the roles. It's kind of fun. And then next is my lovely wife Shayna, who I'm lucky to be married to, and that's a violin, of course. And next to Shayna is Keith Lawrence on a viola, the big violin.
There you go.
We really tried to work out the sunshine shade thing, and Keith is where the plan failed, because he was in the full shade until about 2 seconds ago. But he's going to power through. It's not good for the instruments to be in the sun, but Keith's being a champ about it, so we're just going to do it.
Great. Well, again, I'll just recommend everyone pay close attention to all the things Adam talked about, and make sure you're using the chat box. And I'll just say, go ahead and take it away, Cosa Nostra Strings.
Right on. Thanks, everybody. Here you go, Errol.
Of course, has had
wish I had some tea.
Can I talk about the next?
Sure.
Tea? Are you cold?
I just want a little teacup to sit after such an elegant song.
I have been sent to talk about the next song. That last song that you heard was a here I can do this. Nobody's nearby. Was a 3-song medley. And let's see, the last one was called Emperor Lewis, featuring Emperor Lewis. The one before that was called Cornet's a tune that I wrote. And the first song in that medley is called $500 Song, and it's dedicated to every lost iPhone. That was written by Adam over there on the bass and trombone. This next tune, we're kind of changing gears. It's a song that I wrote called August, and I was just trying to capture a certain feeling. It's not really a story. It doesn't really have a storyline, but it's sort of a extended moment in time. So if you're feeling adventurous, type into the chat sort of the feeling that this music gives you. I'll be really curious to see if I did my job right. This is called August.
I assume everyone out there is clapping really hard. I see you over there, Ariel, making real visual art. Yeah. Ariel's been making like pretty much an amazing art piece every day.
Why don't you put it up now so they can see the before and after?
Well, is it still wet?
It's still wet.
Okay. We'll show you in a bit. She's got some really cool painting going on.
We're going to take a second to tune because we're in direct sunlight.
Well, keep sticking on for the team.
You want to switch for this one?
Yeah, we can. Yep, that's cool.
I mean, now there's plenty of shade over here.
Yeah, we just switch for this one. It's good.
Okay.
Use your bum for this one?
Yep.
That's right.
I'm going to work on my tan a little bit.
Yep.
Oh, it's good.
Cool. Woo.
Got this.
That is Aaron Kerbel, who was featured on the drums on that one. Yes, internet, give it up. All right. We're having fun out here. We are Cosa Nostra Strings, a division of the Jazz Mafia. Jazz Mafia is a music collective that's been here doing creative, wild, crazy, collaborative things for 20 years. We're celebrating 20 years. Cosa Nostra has been around for about 4 of those, I think, maybe 5, depending on where you start, maybe 6. But we're happy to be celebrating our debut album that came out in September. Please go check it out. I want to introduce the band one more time. Emperor Louis Passner on the cello.
Yeah.
Keith Lawrence on the viola and vocals as well. Shayna Evanick, Shayna E on the violin.
Yeah. And toy piano.
And toy piano. Aaron Kerbel, Adam Thies, Cosa Nostra Strings. Thank you so much. I think we got time for, was it one more or something? 2 more? 2 more songs.
A brooch and then change.
We also have another brand new album coming out. We put out 2 albums. There's one that we haven't told you about. We'll let you go find it. But it's the remixed version of our full-length album that came out in September. We released the remixed album last week. And it's a little heavier beats, stuff like that, you know, some heavier beats. Makes you go like this a little bit more. And then we have another brand new album coming out in a week from this Tuesday, which is a collaboration with vocalist Leland Kane called Shadows. So check that out. Some of the singles are already out for that. What do we got?
We're going to do the Parciale.
We're going to do another original by our cellist and composer, Louis Passner. This is Abbracciare il Jazz. Play the jazz.
Right.
Great.
You need your bone for this one.
We do don't so a moment, keep it a little tighter.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay.
All right.
Nice one, Lewis.
Thanks, Keith.
All right, our last tune.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Look us up, Cosa Nostra Strings. Young, gifted, black, and gay. Brought into this world the way paid by ancestors and elders through oral traditions, both new and old. These words are my guidance. This story is my own. Love yourself, respect your elders, set goals, believe in dreams, Mom and Dad said. Sail towards the stars, though arduous it may be. Own the courage in your candor, integrity, don't you dare fear. It's not your job to make them comfortable, but have the freedom to hold those accountable. Don't have to prove yourself to no one ever. Your scars or your regalia, the struggles now bow to your throne. I'm brought before you by those that pour their lives into loving me. Routine demonstrations of desecration of pride, soul, history, inhumane, and fucking ugly. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, only 55 years ago. Imagine my parents, they were both only 18 years old. So what's your hair like after you wash it? Mamas, grandmamas, as far back as they can trace, far back as they could remember. Land, ancestors, tradition, ancestors' land. Was African. Blood dripping in middle passage, blood crusted in crevices, damp, dark holes, blood staining magnolia, honeysuckle afternoons was African. Nappy curls adorning kings, queens, nappy curls crowning children of freedom, of song of first sunrise was African. Is your mama's? Is your grandma's? Is your daddy's? So tell me, how's your hair gonna be anything but nappy curls after you wash it? Like your grandma, your daddy, and you was African. Now straighten that out, if you can. I was born by the river in a little tent. Whoa, just like that river running rain. Ever since, it's been a long time coming, and I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm not afraid to die. Though I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, and I change gonna come. Oh, we hope it will. a long time coming, and change will come. Oh, we hope it will. Let's show them closer. Then I go to my mother and I say, hey mama, tell me please why they always knocking me back down on my knees. Hey, there were times that I thought I wouldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, and we know a change gonna come. Oh, we hope it will. I said, we know a change is gonna come. So keep voting and get it to happen. Oh, we know a change is gonna come. Change is gonna come. A change is about to come. We know if we vote, a change will come. So God bless all of us who have the power to vote to get it done. Woo! Vote, 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 vote. Thanks for watching.
We have time for questions.
But don't vote for Trump. Don't vote if you're going to vote for Trump.
So thank you.
Sorry about that cue.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone in Cosa Nostra Strings. What a fantastic, just a terrific performance overall. So thanks to each and every one of you. And this is a time, again, for anyone who has questions or comments, go ahead and type them into the comment box there on YouTube. We have a few, but I thought I would start with, I thought I might start by talking a little bit about what you found as individual musicians here in the Bay. I should mention this is being broadcast from your Jazz Mafia headquarters there in Oakland. And how have you, as Bay Area musicians, found this transition into doing everything online and you know, taking care of the coronavirus days?
Yeah, so Jazz Mafia, you know, like I said, we've been around for 20 years. Cosa Nostra has been around for a good chunk of that. We've been pushing to not rely on just live performances a lot more in the last at least 5 years. And, you know, that obviously involves doing more production in the studio, recording, but also when I say less reliant on live gigs, I mean just any kind of alternate ways to get our music out there. So I think of doing like a street performance, like a pop-up street performance also as kind of like a different thing than a typical live gig where you're waiting by the phone for someone to call you. So that's been something that we've really embraced in the pandemic. And right when it started, actually, we just hit the ground running. We had just finished our album, which was good timing. But we were all involved in the Music Relief Project, which like brought funding to like 100 musicians in the Bay Area real quickly, and so we got involved in a lot, and that was all video based, like making short videos and things. So one of the things that I've been really trying to do is to push all of our collaborators, in our core collaborators, but also just musicians in the community that I want to be working with, to get their recording set up at home for video and for audio. And we were just talking about it earlier, like, I don't know, there's dozens of musicians that I work with who didn't know how to run a digital audio workstation or edit a short video, or it's like everyone went to school, as you know, so everybody's been taking up some new thing. But for musicians, these are skills that we all should have anyways, and so it's been great to push that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Just kind of getting a little bit into that more technical side of it, how do you work on arrangements? Are they for the different songs, maybe everything's different, or does the composer kind of figure that out and just pass it on to everyone, or how much this collaboration is there?
Hey, Lewis, you should answer this one. They're asking how we handle arrangements, like what our process is for doing arrangements and all that.
Yo.
Hi, Lewis.
Hi.
Welcome to the screen.
Thank
to the
you. Thanks
close-up
for having
screen.
us. Yeah,
of course.
This is better. This is civilized.
There you go.
The question is, how do we do arrangements?
Yeah, how much collaboration is there? Does the original composer do most of the work, or heavy lifting on it, or what happens?
Yeah, it's mostly written out. Sometimes there's collaboration. So the metal track that we played, Emperor Lewis, was I came into the studio, and Adam and I were kind of experimenting with different riffs, and then we recorded a bunch of stuff, and he ended up writing out a chart out of kind of what we had worked on and making a song out of it. For my tunes, although certainly the door is open for collaborations, I think most of the time we bring in a finished chart. We workshop sometimes. So if your chart's not finished, then we might workshop it in a practice. But a lot of times we have stuff to do, and so I'm kind of more of a bring the chart in as close to finished as possible, because then we don't always have time to workshop things.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have shows to play, recordings to do, and to rehearse for. So there's it. Does that answer your question? It's
absolutely. Yeah.
It's mainly like written out.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. I sort of assume, when you're dealing with that type of instrumentation, that's sort of what you have to do.
Yeah, and also it's our skill set. You know what I mean? Like, we all have backgrounds in, like, reading tons of sheet music, and so it's actually one of the strengths of the band is that we can write out things that are, can be pretty intricate.
Right. Yeah. There are definitely some extremely complex, not only, melodic material, but just the background riffs that were supporting solos and stuff can be extremely complicated. So. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And really groovy at the same time. I guess the other question I had was about kind of how this particular quintet came together. And I don't know if that's an Adam question or who best to answer.
Is Keith here? Keith is good at answering.
Okay.
This. How did this? I think Keith had to leave. Actually.
Oh, he had to go to another gig. I understand.
Yeah, he had another gig, which is crazy in this time of day. Who wants to answer how this group came together?
I'm not sure that I remember.
Sure.
You kind of started it.
We used to be Adam Beast and the Cosa Nostra Strings.
Yeah, so
So
for anybody
selfish.
who's new to Jazz Mafia, a lot of this collaborating with strings and instruments and ensembles that you might not normally see strings playing with. In 2009, I got a commission to do a large symphonic hybrid project, and we'd been dabbling with strings before that in little nightclubs, very experimental. And that was the first time in 2009 that we really put it on a respectable stage, and it was presented like a finished product. It's called Brass Bows and Beats.
Right.
So anyone who wants to see a 50-piece orchestra really mixing up genres, kind of like what we just did here, but with 8 vocalists and horns and DJs and stuff.
I will personally recommend that to anyone who wants to check it out.
Yeah. So a lot of us, some of us met through that. That's how I met Lewis. That's how Shayna and I actually first met as well. And then after doing a lot of work with that group, that giant ensemble for about 2 years, I was really missing playing intimate, small rooms and playing completely acoustic, not having to sound check with 10 monitor mixes. And so I started doing these experiments actually during Brass Bows and Beats, but really started hitting the ground running with it later. And also I'd met so many awesome string players through, because we would use 8 strings, 12 strings in the section. So I had a huge list of strings that I knew had a lot of different strengths that I would want to have in a group like this. And so we would do these like little experimental gigs through the years, starting around 2009. And when this group formed is really when the last piece of that puzzle clicked. It you know, we had Aaron on drums, Shayna on violin, Lewis on cello. We've been kind of trying different combinations, and when Keith came in, it was like, okay, we've got it. And that's when we decided to make it a band, and less like this weird Adam Thies thing where, you know, they just show up and read my charts.
Right.
And so it's been really fun to see it like grow from being a seed into this thing with all these different branches. And like I said, we collaborate with a lot of different people, so the band itself takes on different personalities as well, depending on what project we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fantastic. I think I'll probably wrap it up there. We didn't get too many questions from folks, just lots of congratulations and thank yous. So,
right on.
So that's great. We like those too. So I'll say just thanks to you, Adam, and Shayna, and the rest of Cosa Nostra Strings. I want to also make sure to mention thank you to Ariel Wang, who is running the tech on your end.
Yes, thanks. And, can they see your art?
Oh yeah,
she might have something she can show you.
That'd be great.
So I think this is the only one that's dry enough. But
oh, look at that!
Yeah,
original artwork created during the concert.
Can't tell. This is Keith.
That's
Yes.
Keith.
Yeah, it's the hair. The hair gives it away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have one more quick treat for you, Ella. Come here. Go ahead.
We get pet tricks as well, everyone.
Good girl.
There we go. The final notes of the concert. I want to thank also the staff here at Berkeley Art Museum, especially our video producer, Dave Taylor, who pulls this all together week after week and month after month. So thanks to, once again to Cosa Nostra and Jazz Mafia group in general. And thank all of you for watching. And we'll see you again here for our next concert.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, John.